Not sure what to go for? Sandals or boots? Open toe, closed toe? Suede or leather? Well, let me help you. Hi, this is Kasia from exoticacademy.com, an online exotic pole and floorwork school. In this video, I will be comparing sandals with boots, what's good about them, what's not so great about them, so you can make a well-informed decision while making a purchase or simply choosing the right footwear for your performance or for your training. Let's start with something pretty obvious and most visible, the appearance. Sandals tend to give you more lighter, more subtle, more ballet-like, but also more old school exotic-like. We used to dance only in those back in the day, I guess because there wasn't really any other option. Boots, on the other hand, will give you much heavier appearance. They are shoes that really make a statement. You can't not notice them, right? Boots became very popular in the last few years thanks to some famous exotic pole dancers who really pushed that trend. So most of the time you see people on Instagram dancing these kind of shoes. My personal favorite, open toe suede. The suede finish tends to give a bit more sporty vibe, while the leather, the PVC finish will give you more hardcore vibe. So what I'm trying to say here, the footwear will make a massive difference. If you take the same dancer, the same choreography, dress them in the same clothes, but you will replace sandals with boots, this is going to change the entire vibe and appearance of this performance. Now let's get a little bit more technical and look into how they will actually affect your performance. Sandals are a little bit lighter, meaning less weight to carry, less weight to lift while doing tricks, and also a little bit easier to maintain nice arch for a prolonged period of time. Boots, on the other hand, tends to be a little bit more heavy. More heavy or heavier? Meaning more weight to carry and more weight to lift while performing any tricks. Also, these 100 grams may not seem like a lot, but if you're dancing for a prolonged period of time, this can really affect your ability to point your toes. Also, something that gets really overlooked and no one really mentions, that in summer, if you're living in a hot country, it can get really hot in them and you can literally get a swimming pool inside, especially if you're wearing those made from not really breathable materials. Even the ones made from genuine leather, it can get really hot. Next thing, which is very important to me and should be for you if you are particularly into Russian styles, which is point and ability to arch your foot. In sandals, you can create a really beautiful arch. Your foot is exposed, meaning no extra material that would stop you from achieving nice point. Boots, on the other hand, have a predefined shape of the top. Even if you wear a ballerina with 10 years of experience, there's no way you'll be able to showcase that beautiful arch. Even if your toes are really pointed inside, it simply won't be visible. The happy medium with the boots is the open toe design. However, the shape is already pre-designed as well. And yes, you have ability to point a little bit more, but it's not going to be the same arch as in sandals. If you like this video and want more tutorials, please subscribe and let me know in the comments if you're Team Sandals or Team Boots. Let's dive into the toe situation. Unfortunately, the common problem, especially if you have narrow feet, is that the toes are sliding out of the shoe, which is really annoying. A little tip, if we're talking about the most common brands like pleasers, the ones with clear straps tends to be a bit tighter and also they have wider straps. The patent leather sandals have bigger hole and the top straps are more narrow. So if you have wide feet, they will be perfect for you. But if you have narrow feet like me, toes are going to be probably somewhere here. This means that your pedicure is going to be completely ruined. But not only that, your toes are not protected, so you can potentially get hurt if you go for more crazy stuff. The closed toe boots, on the other hand, will kind of solve the problem completely. Your toes are nicely protected, your pedicure is safe, and you can do a lot of crazy stuff. However, as I've just mentioned before, you're kind of sacrificing a lot on the point, on the arch. You won't be able to achieve those beautiful lines we strive for. And then the open toe boot, I would say it's a little bit better than with sandals because you have a little bit more firm hold here on the ankle area. But I find it, if you have narrow feet, the sliding toe issue can still happen, and it's pretty annoying. So let's compare all 4 types of shoes when it comes to the arch and the sliding toe situation. First, we have custom-made sandals with real leather. These are super soft, allowing really nice arch and no toes sliding out. That's because they're custom-made for my feet. They're super old, yet still holding my feet in place. Gosh, they've been through a lot. Next, we have pleaser sandals with clear straps. This pair is brand new and not stretched yet, so the sliding toe is not a problem yet. However, while they stretch a little more, the arch will be much more visible, but in my case, toes will be, dragging on the floor, which is awful. But we have a little bit nicer arch than in boots. Next, we have my absolute favorite real leather open toe boot that has been custom made for me because of my narrow feet. The arch is better than in closed toe, but the predefined shape of the shoe will not allow you to achieve such a big arch. And then we have closed toe pleaser boots. Can't really see, but I'm really pointing my toes here. The predefined shape of the shoe and the closed toe will give you much more safety, but it's going to be much more difficult to create nice lines. Safety, well, as I've mentioned before, your toes are quite exposed, so probably not the best if you want to do some crazy drops or kips. Also, they give you a little bit less stability around the ankle area, which is good and bad. Good because it kind of forces your muscles to do a little bit more work to stabilize, which then translates to stronger ankles. But also bad if you want to do some crazy drops and crazy stuff. Boots will give you full protection of the toe, so no matter what you want to do, you're going to be protected. But that can also mentally help with some more advanced stuff when you know that whatever is going to happen, you're not going to break your toes. Also, your ankles are more secured in these. However, I wouldn't necessarily totally rely on that. You still want to make sure you have strong ankles to avoid any injuries. Pole and off the pole features. Sandals are pretty versatile. They will give you extra grip on the pole if you're a tricks person, but also won't really stop you from sliding and dragging your feet on the floor. So they can be used both on and off the pole. Shoes, that's a different story. First, we have laces, which can be a little bit annoying sometimes and even dangerous. So make sure you hide them when you dance behind the tongue of the shoe. Some of the shoes can have metal, I don't know what these things are called. These metal elements can scratch your pole. The important thing to consider is the finish. The suede finish will give you absolutely zero grip on the pole, meaning if you're a tricks person, they're not going to help you. If you want to climb in them, you would totally have to rely solely on your arms, your inner thighs, and your knees, because your shins are also going to be covered. So the suede finish is for those of you who are more into the dancey styles. The PVC, the patent leather, all the kind of a shiny latex finish will give you super extra grip on the pole. So if you're a tricks person, if you're doing a lot of stuff on the pole upside down, they will give you super extra help with grip. However, they can actually grip to the floor as well, depending on your flooring, and to some other things. They can be a little bit problematic on the floor. Durability. Well, these shoes will go through a lot and they will get scratched and damaged equally. But I would say that boots are a little bit more durable just because there is more material. Unfortunately, with the sandals, they tend to end the lives with their straps breaking. This one you can still replace, but this one, if the front strap breaks, that's the end of the shoe. The boots will get scratched and damaged. However, they're going to be usable for longer, and then you can just use them for training. They're going to be ugly, but you can use them as your crash boots like I do. Price. Well, sandals are the winner here because they tend to be cheaper than boots unless you go for custom design. My personal favorite, which are open toe boots, which gives you best and worst of the both worlds, but they're just gorgeous. I could buy all the colors in the world. Sandals, light, easy, cheaper, and pretty versatile for whatever style you want to do. And the closed toe boots will give you super extra protection and will allow you to do some really crazy drop flips and kips without worrying about your toes and your ankles. So what is the conclusion? You've watched this video until now, probably means you're as addicted to pole dancing shoes as most of us, meaning you'll probably get all of them anyway, but at least now you know when to use which ones. So don't forget to subscribe. Let me know how serious is your pole dancing shoe addiction. And if you want to know how to protect your shoes and save them from scratching, make them last more, then see my next video about platform protectors. If you are a beginner and looking to buy your first pair, there is a separate video with a more comprehensive guide with all the information you need before buying your first pair of shoes.